qismdan ko'ra ko'proq amaliy qism bersak to'g'riroq bo'ladi va shuning uchun hozir bugun shu haqida ko'proq gaplashamiz. Xo'p, endi demak ovozlarimiz ham yaxshi ishlagan ekan. Men bilgan bo'lsanglar, spikerimiz hali kelmadilar. O'shaning uchun ozgina vaqt cho'zib turishga harakat qilaman. O'shanga ungacha savol javob qilib tursak bo'ladi. Hop, kimda qanaqa bo'lyapti? Mana sizlar yosh avlod. Qani nima sinab ko'rdinglar? Qanaqa bo'ldi? Hop.
Antigravity ishlatib ko'rdim. Xuddi Gemini Flash'dan Claude haqida.
Nima yasab ko'rdingiz?
Shu bitta
landing page yasab ko'rdingiz. Okay, yaxshi. Xo'p, kim demak yana bitta anaqa ideya berdingiz menga. Quiz yana so'rovnoma qilsak bo'ladi. Kim demak front-end applar yozish uchun ishlatyapti anaqa. O'sha coding, agentic codingni front-end uchun ishlatyapti. Hop. Endi faqat emas, front-end ham deylik. Kim back-end yozish uchun ishlatyapti? Back-end. Hop, bu yoq tomon faqat back-endchilar ekan. Qani aytib beringlar menga back-end biz ovozimizni eshitilishi uchun ham back-endda nima tilda yozyapsiz?
Men asosan Java'da yozaman. Bizda endi biznes logikalarni yozdirmasdan asosan testing, qandaydir konfiguratsiyalar uchun foydalanamiz asosan deydi. Keyin terminalda endi men bankingda ishlaganim uchun biznesda adashib ketib qolsa nima bo'lib qoladi? Menga nima bo'lib qoladi?
Okay. Mana shu savol hozir ko'pchilikni qiynayapti. AI xato qiladimi, yo'qmi? AI albatta xato qiladi, to'g'rimi? Kimni productionni buzib qo'ydi? Kimda bo'ldimi shunaqa paytlar? AI ga chiqib ketib qolib production ishlatmayapsiz ekanda. Bizda bo'ldi masalan. Bo'ldimi?
Qanday holatda bo'ldi? Xullas AI yozib bergan kod bor. Bu kodni ko'rib qandaydir xatolarni izmeniyasini qildikda Claude Code'da ishlatamiz. Izmeniya qildikda, keyin u sessiyasida meni eski kodimni yo'tlab olgan. Keyin men gitga commit qilsam, o'zini eski kodini yozib, meni kodlarimni chopib turib qo'yib yuborgan. Keyin developmentda baribir ashibga chiqqan. Shunaqa holatlar bo'ladi. Endi bir sinab ko'rdim, ya'ni uni commitlarni yozdirib, to'liq flow'da yaxshi yozib berganligi uchun endi erinchoq bo'ladi azizcha sal. O'shani hisobiga shunga e'tibor berish kerak. Ya'ni bir karra yana qaytadan o'qib chiq degan yana komanda qo'shib qo'yish kerakmi?
Kimni boshi ketdi keyin undan keyin?
Yo'q, devda bo'lgan.
Ha, devda bo'lgan.
Prodda.
Ha, okay, yaxshi. Hop, yana qani siz ham qo'lingiz ko'tarasiz. Siz ham backend yozyapsizmi? Kim backend yozyapti? Qo'llarni ko'taringlar. Sizni eshitdik. Qani marhamat, siz ozgina aytib bering menga. Nima iloji bo'lsa ham bu yoq ko'rayotgan ekanmiz, aytib bersangiz bo'ladi.
Assalomu alaykum. Nimani buzgani haqidami?
Yo'q, umumiy o'zingiz experience nima stackda yozyapsiz? Qanaqa bo'lyapti? Qanaqa ob'yemni ishlatyapsiz?
Xo'p, biz enterprise leveldagi proyektda ishlatyapmiz. Hozirgi stackimiz backend uchun PHP, Node.js, Rust va frontend uchun asosan Angular. Xo'p, bizda bo'ladigan xatolar ko'pincha productionga chiqib ketmaydi, chunki orada staging environment bor, development bor, shuning uchun ancha erta yuzaga chiqib qoladi. Va xato u tipa kutiladigan narsa, chunki AI first project bo'lgani uchun proyektda ko'p xatolar chiqadi. Va biz uni tabiiy qaraymiz. Masalan, ba'zida allaqachon ishlab turgan featurelarni o'chirib qo'yadi, lekin guard rails yaxshi qo'yilgani uchun ko'pincha u developmentdan u yog'iga o'tolmaydi. Va ko'pchilik o'ylaydi, masalan, PHPda eski til, unda ishlash qiyin. To'g'ri, bir tomondan shunaqa. Lekin hatto AI bilan ham uni ishlatsa bo'layapti. Biz Symfony bilan yozamiz, ancha og'ir va applicationimiz ham multi-tenant bo'lgani uchun software as a service shunaqa scale'da ham yaxshi ishlayapti va butun team AI ga nima desa bo'ladi, ishlatadi, undan foydalanadi, asosiy kod AI bilan o'tadi. Albatta human in the loop saqlashga harakat qilamiz. Lekin shu darajada rivojlanyaptiki, hatto biz ham qo'rqib ketyapmiz, chunki yaqinda qisqartirishlar bo'ladi shuni sababidan.
Sizlar yordam berasiz.
Ha, biz o'zimizni chopishga o'zimiz yordam beryapmiz.
Qaysi kompaniya aytasizmi?
Xo'p, yo'q, buni ayta olmayman chunki
qaysi birini aytsam.
Bu ham bitta question, lekin ayta olmayman.
rekord uchun mayli deymiz. Xo'p, yaxshi, juda qiziq. Xo'p, mana qani, sizda ham juda ko'p tajriba bor ekan. Ozgina shu haqda ulashsangiz, qanaqa ketyapti, nimalar bo'ldi? Ikki og'iz iloji bo'lsa. Agar siz ayta olsangiz, ism familiyangiz, qaysi kompaniya va tajribangiz.
Ben de senior developerman. 15 yildan beri tajriba bor. Endi boshlaganim WordPressdan boshlagandim. PHP WordPressdan boshlab oxirgi 3 yilda Pythonda, keyin Nextda yangi texnologiyalar nima bo'lsa, o'shanda ishlatishni boshladim. O'zi oldin StyleMixda ishlaganman. Keyin hozir Estoniyaning kompaniyasida ishlayman. Turizm bilan shug'ullanadigan. O'zimning sayt projektlarim bor. Shunga ishlatadiganim backendda ham, frontendda ham ishlataman. Keyin frontendda ko'p ham vaqtimni ketkazmasligi uchun dizaynga stillar bor. Yani minimalistik yoki dev degan stillar bor. Nomini aytsangiz yoki MacBook va Apple degan stillarni o'zi chizib beradi. Hammasini o'zi qilib beradi. Men Claude Code'dan foydalanganda endi asosan ishlashning har xil yo'li bor-da. Ishlash to'g'risida gapiradigan bo'lsa, plan bo'yicha yopib ishlash mumkin yoki o'sha qanaqadir agentlik sistema orqali ham ishlatsa bo'ladi. Endi saytlar ko'p qilganman. Oxirgi paytda bo'ladigan ishlarda ishxonamda ishlataman. Oldingi qilgan ishlarimni bir haftalik ishni bir kunda qilib qo'yaman-da. Bir kunda qilib qo'yaman. Hozir endi shunaqa darajaga chiqdi. Skillslarni masalan Claude Code'ga qo'yasiz, workflowni qo'yib qo'ysangiz, Figmadan dizaynni olib, Figmadan dizaynni oladi-da, o'zi kodni qilib beradi menga. Даже shunaqa qilib bera oladiki, WordPress ichida turgan narsani o'zi ochib, men playbook degan narsasi bor, o'zi ochib, o'zi qo'yib, bundan tashqari saytga rasmlarni PNG'dan WP'ga aylantirib tashlab upload ham qilib berish darajasiga yetdi-da o'zi. Endi ishlatishni bilgan odamga juda yaxshi. Ishlatishni bilmaydigan odamlarga masalan juniorlarga qiyin masalan. Ular o'tib qolsa unga tushunmasdan xatosi ko'p ketib qoladi. Agar senior bo'lsa, senior biladi, xatosini sezasiz ham даже. Ishlayotgan paytimda men sezaman, mana shunda xato ketadi. Keyin bir xil paytda bu zamkat qilib qoladigan odatlar bor. O'shanda yerda o'tirib turadi, mana shunda xato qilyapti, yo'l ko'rsatib olsangiz chiqib ketadi shu yerdan deysizda. O'shani ko'rsataman, u chiqib ketadi keyin. Shunaqa narsalar bor, gallyutsinatsiya qilib ketishi mumkin. Shunaqa narsalar bor. Oxirgi endi har xil yo'lda har xil yangi narsalar chiqib kelyapti. Men yaqinda pay-per-click'ni ishlatib ko'rdim. Agentlik sistemasi tashlab qo'yasiz, o'zi agentlarni tuzadi, registratsiya qiladi-da, haftasiga yo'llarni bo'lib chiqadi. Endi shunaqa yo'llar chiqib ketyapti. Hozir endi asosan u yerda senior developer arxitektorga aylanadi. Endi yo'nalish o'zi hozir solo entrepreneur degan tushuncha paydo bo'lyapti. O'sha yo'nalishda ketish kerak debdi. Chunki juda ham ko'p bir ishdan bo'shasa, o'zini firmalarini ochib qilgan yaxshi degan xulosaga kelyapti.
Juniorlar hayoti nima bo'ladi?
Juniorlar unga o'tib qolish kerak emasdi. Juniorlar boshqacha foydalanishki. Men qanaqa bo'lganganim haligi kirayotganda bilmaydigan narsani oldin Stack Exchange'ga kirib, research qilib, o'rganadimda, internetda research qilardim. Hozir savolni berasiz. Hali ChatGPT Stack Exchange u yoqdan bu yoqni teshib chiqqan. Hammani biladi, qanaqa savol javob bo'lishini. O'zi biladi. O'shanga savol bu mashina o'rgatgan deydi. O'shani mentor bo'lish darajasiga olib chiqish kerak. Mentor bo'lsa, o'rganadi o'shanda. Keyin ishga kirolmasa, masalan, o'tib qolish kerak emas. Pet proyektlarni qurish kerak. O'z ustida ishlashga. Keyin Claude Code'ni shunaqa Claude Code bu AI'ni ishlatishda juniorlar masalan birinchi bo'lib, mana birinchi yilini bazasini yaxshilab olish kerak. Usiz. Masalan, maktabda men birinchi sinfda qo'liga bolaga kalkulyator bersangiz, u bola o'rganmaydi. Masalan, счетчикdan счетni hisoblashni yoki mentalniy arifmetikada miyaga hisoblashlarni bilmaydi-ku. O'rganmay qoladi. Bu bolaga masalan uni tushunchalarni asosini berish kerak-da. Undan keyin qo'liga o'shani kuchaytirib beradigan narsalarni berishga. Shunga bolalarga, o'sha juniorlarga haligi oldin bazasini yaxshilab o'rganadi, keyin u yog'iga AI o'rganib ketish kerak instrument sifatida. Instrument sifatida o'rgansa o'shanda hamma narsani kodni qayerda qanaqa yozilishi kerak, qanaqa arxitektura bo'lishi kerak degan tushunchalarni bo'ladi. Keyin bu narsani bitta o'rganib olsa, qolgan tillarni ham bemalol o'rganib ketaveradi. Bazasi bo'lishi kerak, bazasi bo'lmasa, hozir keyinchalik ishga olishda ham bu narsani bilasanmi, yo'qmi degan keyingi yilda o'zi talab qo'yiladi bu. Busiz ilojisi yo'q o'zi. Hammada sen shuni bilasanmi, qaysi foydalanishni bilasan. Xatoni kamayib borgandan keyin bu xuddi xatosi kam bo'lgani uchun ham ko'proq bolalar ishlatishga firmalarda ham shunga talab bo'ladi-da. Uni o'rganish kerak. O'rganmasdan hozir shunaqa vaqtga tez rivojlanyapti. Har kuni nimanidir o'rganib borish kerak. 1 soat, 2 soat vaqtini ko'p gapirdim.
Yo'q, bemalol. Rahmat. Hop, babi spikerimiz hal kelmadi. Bemalol vaqtimiz bor. Siz bizni haqimizda qayerdan eshitdingiz? Meetupimiz Telegram kanalimizda borsiz. Yaxshi. Hop, mana spikerimiz ham marhamat keldilar. Sizga kattakon rahmat. O'zi yetarli, ya'ni summarize qilib berdingiz. Keling. Hop, demak, ozgina yana nuqtiramiz. Menimcha juda yaxshi summary qilib berdilar. Kattakon rahmat. Shu o'z umumiy bizani qarashlarimiz ham shunaqa, chunki biz hozir outsource kompaniya run qilamiz. Outsource kompaniya sifatida biz hozir qanaqa qilib intervyu qilishimizni ham o'zgartiryapmiz. Lekin at the same time biz ham o'ylaymiz, что ertaga rostdan ham juniorlar qatgacha o'qiladi. To'g'ri, hozirgi kunda ya'ni ko'rib turgan hamma odam bir xil uровень bo'lib qoldi, qaysidir ma'noda. 15 yil kimdir opiti borligi, yo'qligi nechidir yilini discount qildi-da AI. Chunki masalan kimdir opit bilan kelgan narsani hozir AI dan bitta savol bilan ola olasiz. Endi sizu bizni vazifamiz nima bo'ldiki, o'sha AI dan shu savolni to'g'ri so'rab olish birinchi o'rinda. Ikkinchi o'rinda o'sha bazani o'zimizga qurib ketish. Masalan, mana hozir agar bugun 10 yoshli bolaga yoki даже hatto men mana boshqa sohadan turib turgan odamga Nestvanni qurishni bersa, скорее всего u Nestvan ertaga 2 yil yashamaydi. Birinchi shamolgacha yoki birinchi yer qimirlashigacha yashasa kerak-da. Chunki men arxitektor emasman. Men ko'rishim mumkin, 3D Max o'rganib oldim deyman, bunday chizaman, nimadirlar qilib ko'raman. Men o'ylayman, vibe code hozircha shunaqa bo'lib qolishi ehtimoli bor. To'g'ri, biz tizimlar o'zgargani sari, o'sgani sari, coding skilllari o'sgani sari bu narsalar rivojlanyapti. O'sha rivojlangani sari bu narsa yaxshilanib boraveradi. Lekin baribir odamda foundation qolish kerak. O'sha foundation bilimlarini menimcha biz o'rganishimiz kerak bo'ladi. Shuning uchun bu yerdaga agar nima bo'lsa, nima deydi, yosh avlodga gaplarimiz shular. Boshqa stackga o'tadigan, mana hozir biz nima qilamiz? Front-endchilarni back-end skillga, back-endchilarni front-endga, mobilechilarni back-endga o'rgatamiz. Bu nimani o'rgatamiz deganda, o'sha system designni, masalan, caching, o'sha redundancy, error validation degan, ya'ni kattaroq mavzular bo'ladi. Oldin balki uni juniorlar kerak emas bo'lgandir. Lekin hozir kodning narxi 0 bo'lyapti, to'g'rimi? Kodning narxi 0 bo'lgandan keyin endi kattaroq o'sha Nestvanni biz g'ish uruvchi darajasida emas, arxitektor darajasiga chiqib qoldik. Tashqaridan qarab biz chizamiz, nimadir yozamiz, o'zi kran olib kelib qurib qo'yishyapti-da. Shunaqa qarasak bo'ladi. Shuning uchun menimcha biz mana shunaqani approach deb qaraymiz va shu approach bo'yicha men o'ylayman davom etishimiz kerak. Hop, bizda hozir 2 daqiqa bizga bersanglar, biz texnika anaqalarni to'g'rilab olamiz va shu bilan prezentatsiyamizni boshlaymiz. Evet.
By the way, I don't need Wi-Fi.
No, it's a live panel.
Okay.
Ekranı şey
Yeah, yeah.
Hop, ben sizga stream yaptım. Link yuvarlamıştım. Şöyle getiririz.
Belki source verse işletirler mi?
Source verir misin? Ha, vermemiz var.
Kamera shart emas, qanday
Ha, stop. Buyurtan ko'rsin.
yana qanday o'chirib qo'yish kerak? Buni spiker ovozlarini o'chirib qo'yishingiz kerak.
Share files.
Faqat sensitiv informatsiyalarga ehtiyot bo'lasiz.
Ha.
Prezentatsiya paytida
Voy, kerak.
demo ko'rsatsangiz chiqib ketishi mumkin. To'g'ri keladi.
Share qilsangiz. All good.
Ishlamadi.
Ishlanadi. Ozgina intro qilib turamiz. Bo'lmasa, mana klipga kerakmi sizga? Mana bunaqa yo'lingiz. Keyin mana mikrofon live uchun. Manasi. Bu anaqa uchun, shuning uchun ikkalasiga ham yaqinroq gapiramiz. Mavzusiz tanishtirib, hozir faqat anaqa yo'q olishimiz kerak. Shuncha X bosasiz. Okay. X bosib olib. Buni qanaqa mana presentation mode qilishimiz kerak. Bilasizlar, o'zinglar ham hozir bizning proyektimizni to'g'rilab berishni boshlaymiz. Ungacha ozgina tanishtirib turamiz. Bizning bugungi spikerimiz Jamshidbek Mirzakhalov. Jamshidbek bizga hozir Floridadan uchib keldi. Washington DC'da yashayaptilar. Men Amerikada bo'lgandan bular bilan ko'rishdik. Uzoq yillardan beri do'stimiz. Mana shu communityda ko'p aniq qilganlar, lekin ko'p yillar Amerikada bo'lganlar, shuning uchun kelishlari bilan birinchi only event menimcha shu yerda gapirib beryaptilar. O'shaning uchun bilan qo'llab-quvvatlaymiz. Iloji bo'lsa, we can do both English and Uzbek. And okay, mana bizning proyektimiz ham mana xudo xolis tayyor bo'lib qoldi. Ana ko'rindi. Zo'r. All good. Demak, hamma tayyor bo'lsa, please welcome Jamshidbek Mirzakhalov.
Hello. Oh, I broke this. One second. Turn this around. Okay. In the position to hold. Share is good. Share.
Screen qoladi.
This is good.
Okay.
Sorry.
So. Yaqin.
All right, assalamu alaikum hammaga. Today I'll keep the presentation in English. I'll be speaking in English as well, but I will try to do this as slowly as possible. And I'll tell you why I'll be speaking in English in a little bit. There's one reason, which is obvious. I haven't given an Uzbek talk in like 8 years, so it'll be very, very hard for you to listen in Uzbek than English, so trust me. Second is, so the whole point of this is not for me to teach you English. If the whole point is for you to understand what's going on. So if you have any questions or if you have any where you feel a little confused, I speak too fast, please raise your hand like this. It means please pause. It means please slow down. I will repeat what I just said because the whole point is for you to understand what was just said. So first of all, I want to thank Nurnake for organizing such a wonderful event. All right, as you can see, I'm not very accustomed to the microphone. When I first talked to Nurnake about the event, this was maybe a couple of months ago. So I was kind of really feeling the high of Claude Code, and we're just within the team, it really changed the way our startup runs. So we're just thinking about like, okay, everyone probably is feeling the same way. If you ever heard of Claude Code or Codex, or they have a bunch of other ones, it probably changed the way you code as an engineer, or if you're a designer, it probably changed the way you design. If you're a founder, it really probably changed the way you run your company. But then when I saw like there was actually a huge audience coming in, I am going to assume there's a bunch of engineers here, a bunch of founders, and maybe by a raise of hands, how many of you are here are engineers, software engineers? Okay, about 50%. How many of you are founders / engineers, maybe still? Okay, a good amount. How many of you want to run startups, actually? Okay, still a good amount. Designers, we have? Designers, one, two. Okay, good. All right, so the talk will be structured in like 3 things. I know the topic was build with AI. I'm gonna structure this into 3 parts. 1, it's gonna be what to build with AI. 2nd is what not to build with AI. And 3rd is how to build. So if you're an engineer waiting for like the how, you may have to wait a little bit towards the end of the presentation, because beginning we will talk about startups generally. We'll talk about what things people should do and shouldn't do. O'zbekchada gapirganda hozir biz prezentatsiyamizni 3 qismiga bo'lyapmiz. Birinchisi, ya'ni Claude Code yordamida, umuman olganda AI yordamida startapda nimalar qilish kerak. Ikkinchi qismi startapda nimalar qilmaslik kerak va uchinchisi siz qilishingiz kerak bo'lgan ishlarni qanday qilib qilish kerak. Agar oramizda ko'pincha injenerlar bo'lsa, ya'ni IT software developerlar bo'lsa, uchinchi qismda asosiy qismlar bo'ladi. Lekin qolgan 2 qismi ham foydali bo'lishi kerak. All right. Okay, a little bit about myself. I run a company called studyspaces.com. It is a B2B platform for educational businesses. I would ask you actually, please do not sign up because our target audience is probably not in the room. We usually work with universities and institutions and educational organizations in the US and the UK. Our goal is to provide them with a platform that delivers their curriculum to their customers, and in this case, students, parents, institutions. I myself came to the US in 2016. I got my bachelor's and master's in computer science. And then I mistakenly joined Salesforce as a software engineer in 2021. I lasted about 1.5 years before I got really, really bored with the work that I was doing. And I quit to start this company called Monarch AI, which lasted about maybe 2 years. And then in 2024, we kind of pivoted and we started studyspaces.com. I'll tell you why we pivoted as well. There's actually a lesson in there. I'm going to get this going. All right, so we have actually one of my engineers here in the back. I remember talking to one of my engineers, I think when first, I think it was Replit came out. If you guys have heard of Replit before, it's no code tool. You just type in it's a vibe coding app basically. And I showed him what the Replit can do. Like it will actually build like a really nice dashboard. And we were like, okay, well, if Replit can do this, then everyone can do what our startup does in a way. But for 1 year, nothing changed. In November of 2025, something changed behaviorally for us in the company, and I'm also sure everyone feels here in the industry something has changed. What happened is we used to use a tool called Cursor. Has anyone heard of Cursor? Yeah. So it's an IDE tool. So it's a tool where you write your code. And if I kind of describe how my setup was, it would be approximately to here, to all the way here. This is where my code used to live. I could look at my code. And then this in the corner was my agent, where I could write my command. In 2025 November, it flipped. Now, this was my code where I look at sometimes, and this was the agent I was just spending most of my time in. So mainly because I think there was a lot of trust that we started placing on the agents because it just could do more stuff. And I was like, okay, I can do 1, 2, 3 things at the same time. So I think this changed. It's not just a tool that makes engineers more more productive, but for a startup, for a technology startup, code is the entire product. So this changes the entire way not just your engineering team runs, but also your marketing, your design. Now you have to, if the engineering is shipping so many features, but your marketing is way behind and they can't promote this fast enough, or your sales is so behind and they can't sell enough stuff fast enough, then you don't have a company still. So before I want to actually jump into what Claude Code changed, I want to cover this very important point. And I added this very last minute to the slides. Bu slaydni ma'nosi nimaki? Hop, Claude Code kelgandan keyin ko'pchilikda shunaqangi xavotir paydo bo'ldida. Mana startupim cannot survive this. Bu startup qoladimi? Chunki hamma agar competition shunchalik katta bo'lsa-ki, hamma o'zini appini 5 minutda 10 minutda yaratib olsa, mana startupimda nima qoladi? Mana produktdan kim oladi degan savollar boshlandi. Juda ham yaxshi savollar aslida bu savollar. Lekin hamma nima ozgina startuplarni fundamentiga olib bormoqchiman. Ya'ni bu 7 ta moat nima degani bu? Moat sizga investor kelib turib, hop startupingizni siz nimaga sizni competitors qanaqa qilib kopiya qilmaydi, nima uchun kopiya qilmaydi, nima uchun kopiya qila olmaydi degan savolga javobi moat. Ya'ni bizda shunaqa narsa borki, qolganlar qila olmaydi degan savolga javob. Bu 7 ta moatlar bizni startup industriyasida oldindan bilingan, oldindan o'rganilgan va hamma tomonidan deyarli to'g'ri deb hisoblangan 7 ta moatlar. Hop, bularni asoschisi bu birinchi kitobda Helmer tomonidan yozilgan, lekin bu to'g'risida juda ham ko'p podkastlar ko'p. Eng oxirgisi masalan Y Combinator podkastida ham yaqinda bularni ko'rib chiqilgan bitta-bittadan. Hop, startupingizni qanaqa qilib competition proof qilishingiz mumkin. Birinchisi scale economies. Nima degani bu scale economies? Eng yaxshi example bunga Netflix. Netflix bilasizlar? Ko'ryapsizmi? Okay. So Netflixni birinchi biznes modeli shunaqa ediki, ular qolgan film ishlab chiqaruvchilarga o'zini ulushi ularga litsenziya olib, ularga pul to'lardi. Keyinchalik bilishdiki, hop, bu juda ham qiyin biznes model, chunki ular ko'p pulni olib ketyapti. Ular pul to'lagan paytida ular bilishmaydiki, bu foydalimi yo'qmi bilishmaydi. Masalan, kinoni oldindan bilish qiyin, rostdan populyarni bo'ladimi yo'qmi. Keyin Netflix nima qildi? Keyinchalik o'zlarining kinoni ishlab chiqarish boshlashdi. Ya'ni o'zlari studiya sotib olib, kinoni ishlab chiqarish boshlashdi. Ularga masalan 60 million, 70 million dollar pul sarflab, movie chiqarib, undan keyin cost is zero. They can sell this forever in their subscription. Hop, bu narsa katta kompaniyalarga juda ham qulay. scale degani agar siz Netflix bilan compete qilmoqchi bo'lsangiz, you have to have $500 million. You cannot, because your cost is going to be so high at the beginning. But Netflix is going to be zero because they already have the money to put in and they don't have to charge extra dollars to the consumer. So scale economies is for companies that are really big and they can use money to drive out competition. So that could be OpenAI having so much compute so that no one else can really train models anymore because they're the only one of 3 companies. Okay, maybe not as applicable to you guys or to us. This is my favorite one, network economies. The best example of this is Facebook. If anyone uses Facebook or Instagram or TikTok, they are the best example of a network moat. What does it mean? Has anyone here tried to start a social media app before? It is one of the hardest things in the world. I can ask Claude today to build me a social media website. It can build it. But why doesn't it work if it can build it? The point is the people. Every time someone joins Facebook, Meta, TikTok, it makes their network stronger, which means that the next person is easier to join or more likely to join. So this is my favorite because this works in almost, you can build this into any startup. So for example, like another good example is Uber, right? We have a Yandex Taxi that I just used right now to get here. So it only works when, like, the more drivers you have, it means the cheaper the price gets. So that it's harder for me to start a new company like Uber or Lyft to compete with that company because you have so many drivers already. Every new user makes your startup better for some reason. So that is a really good one. And I think everyone should probably think about how their startup can use a version of this network economy in their startup to build a moat. Switching costs. This one is really, really simple. Early on, I was using a lot of ChatGPT. I talked to ChatGPT for a year. I think it was the only app I used, like out of all the AI ones. When the Claude and Gemini came out, it was really painful to switch because ChatGPT already knew so much about me, about my context, my business. Claude was maybe better, but it was very, very painful to switch. Why? Because your startup or your app can make it so that it becomes more valuable as time grows. The more I use an app, if it becomes more valuable to me and my team, it means you may have a moat. Like, they might find it very hard to switch to a competitor of yours, even if they're cheaper. For example, at my company, Study Spaces, switching costs is one of our biggest moats because once we have a company situated inside Study Spaces and they trained all their employees to use this, especially teachers who are not very tech savvy, like they just learned how to use this one software. Imagine going to them and saying, actually, we're going to go a different direction, a different platform. No one is going to like it. And it's very, very painful. And it's a very good moat to have. So just think about, does my product get more valuable as I go more, as I build more for my customer? Whew, okay, brand. This is my least favorite one. And actually, this is a really hard one to actually build and create. Branding, there's a very good essay recently came out. If anyone read, you should go read by Paul Graham. He's a co-founder of Y Combinator. He wrote an essay on branding. It's called The Age of Branding. The best example of this is Rolex. If Rolex are so expensive, like $10,000 at the minimum, and you can't even buy it. Like, you have to wait to buy a Rolex for $10,000. And they are definitely not the best watches out there. It's not functional like the Apple watches are, for example. But for some reason, they make so much money and they also cost so much because they have this branding around them. If I wear a Rolex, It means I'm important. If I go walk into a room, people know that I have a social certain status. This works the same way with like really nice shoes. If you wear like a Nike shoes, you can find a cheaper one that's maybe as good, but if you wear a Nike or Adidas and something original, the reason I don't like this, but it's still very good, if you can build it, you should definitely build it, is really hard to predict. Branding doesn't, like, you know, as we said, maybe it's not the best watch, not the best shoes. It's hard to know what is a good branding. You have to kind of go like opposite of what everyone thinks. You have to create like a differentiator. So very hard, but you know, very powerful if you can build it. Counter positioning. So the best example of this is when, like, if you go to your competitor's website and you look at their pricing and you say, okay, they charge you know, $1,000 a month flat fee for the organization, and then you say, okay, I'm gonna come up and I'm gonna say, I'm gonna go to the customer, the client, and say, look, I'm gonna charge you per usage. You know, if you don't use my app, you don't pay. You pay per usage. Okay, that is a counter positioning just in terms of pricing. But now the competitor is actually very scared because they have to completely reinvent their own pricing to compete with you. So you're kind of going to basically counter positioning yourself to your competitor's strategy, where it makes it risky for your competitor to follow your path. Like imagine you're a small startup of 5 people competing with, you know, a startup of 100 people. They have a lot more to lose than you. You lose nothing. I mean, nothing happens. You move on. You start a new company. You join a different team. But for them, it's a big company. So make it so that your bet, your counter positioning actually makes sense to them. Like actually makes it hurt for them to switch. I think the real life example of this is in Google, if you guys remember, they have this AI overview now. If you type something in, it's going to tell you like AI overview before it shows you the results. This took 1 year for Google to ship. And for 1 year, I will guarantee you, internally, they were thinking, oh, this is such a bad idea, because our entire money making in Google is the links that if you click on the link, they get paid. But ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude, they all have this like AI answering machines. You know, I haven't used Google in a while, like unless I have to look up something, because I can just go to Claude, I can just ask it, it's going to look up information, give me a summarized version. So OpenAI and Claude and Perplexity forced Google to change their own business model on the search, which is their biggest. So I think it's a fantastic way to put it. The kind of positioning. Corner resource, it's a very simple. You have a patent, you have a top scientist in a certain field as a co-founder. You have access to a certain resource that no one else has. So it's very simple. You have a moat, you have a patent, no one can legally, you know, build what you're building. So process power is also pretty simple. Like think of like Tesla. They have factories. Everybody knows what those factories look like. Everybody knows what every element looks like. But they're so efficient in how they do it. So if you have a company, like a small company maybe, if you run so efficiently, if your process is so efficient, then like that's your moat. Like this could totally be your moat. Have you guys seen that Claude chart, like how many features they shipped in the last 30 days, the chart they have? It's like insane. Like for a team that big, they can ship so much. Like if I was an investor in Claude, I would be like, okay, like this is your mode. Like you can move faster than anybody else in the industry. And that's a process power. So back to my question, what does Claude change about this? And my answer is nothing. None of this was actually related to code, if you notice. Code was never the moat anyway. Code is just a product, it makes sense, but you don't build big, long-lasting companies with just code. Claude Code, what it does is it makes these moats even more important, because you can build products so much faster. And now you actually have to focus on one of these. You have to focus on 2, 3 of these. So just to repeat, actually, I think the best thing you can take from this presentation is to like look back at your startup and says, okay, this is our roadmap for 3 months. Is it helping with any of these? Is it building any kind of like reliable, long-lasting strategy for my company? And if it's not, maybe reevaluate it and think about what it should be. And ideally, you have 2, 3 of these involved in one. O'zbek tilida ham ozgina aytib o'taman. Bu 7 ta startup bo'yicha defensible moat, ya'ni sizni kompaniyangizga kerak bo'lgan narsa venture capital olish uchun yoki venture capital turidagi startup qurish uchun shu moatlardan kamida bitta ikkitasini startupingiz ichiga qo'shishingiz kerak. Va birortasi ham Claude Code'ga taalluqli emas. Birortasi ham kodga aslida taalluqli emas. Sizni qanchalik tez kod ishlab chiqarish, qanchalik tez produkt ishlab chiqarish bu startupni qurmaydi. It's a minimum. Like you have to produce product, you have to build features. That's your job to do this. To make it big and stable, you have to build moats. Okay, so, but the real risk is Claude Code actually makes it very dangerous for a lot of smart people to, Claude Code makes it very dangerous for people to build the things that nobody actually wants. Like you think of an idea, you're like, oh, that's a fantastic idea. I should totally spend 2 weekends to building this. And then you launch it and then nothing happens. And you're like, okay, maybe that was a bust. Maybe I'll do it again. I'm going to try this again, spend 2 weeks. Again, nothing happens. And it's so dangerous because it's like so close to you. Before it was like a lot of work. You have to spend like 6 months of work to build this product and it's risky. Maybe I don't want to risk my, time, but it's so easy now. And this is not a full list of traps, but this is kind of my top list of traps that founders like our age and our stage usually fall into. I'm going to go through 3 of them. The first one is probably the most important one, and I call this a phantom audience. What a phantom audience means is that when I tell you to pitch me your idea, or when you actually think it in your head, oh, this will be a great app for XYZ, try to write down the name of one person who would use this. Not an archetype, not an idea of a person, like a name of one person. And if you do, call them and says, would you use this? And if they say yes, ask, would you pay for this? This is a very good exercise because a lot of the time some ideas sound so good in our heads. So we're like, of course, this has to be, there has to be a faster Google Drive, or there has to be some like idea that totally makes sense. But you can't think of one person in your life that you know who would actually use this. So very good exercise. Just if you ever come up with an idea, before you build anything, before you touch Claude Code, like write down on a notebook one person, one name who would use this, and call them or text them if they would actually use this, if you built it. It will save you so much time in the future. Like it will, and this is actually the exact advice also YC gives. They put it in a different way. They say like, oh, build something that you actually need. And that's actually could be a good advice. Like it could be you who needs this every day. And that's fine. If you actually truly believe this, like, will you actually use this every day or like very often enough? And then would you pay for this? Quick example here, actually. Our first idea, even before Monarch AI, we were building a search engine for a specific product that the students use at school. In the US, we have a software called Canvas. Every school uses Canvas. Like 65% of the schools in the US use Canvas. And it was hell to find anything. Like you cannot find your files. You cannot find like information on files. So we were building like a search engine within Canvas where you can just type in information. It would just like show you the files that have that information, right? And this was pre-ChatGPT. So it was a fantastic idea. We showed it to people, and then people would say, oh, this is great. Like, I love to use this. And you ask them, but would you pay for this? And they say no. Then it's not a good idea. Like, it's very rare to have a really good product, a successful company, if your clients are not willing to pay for this. So the second question is also very important. So do you ask, would you pay for this? Please, yeah. It could be anyone. It could be anyone. Ideally, not your friend, but if it's your friend, that's fine. You know, a lot of people are very nice. So they will say, of course, I'll use your product. Man, like, you're my best friend. And then they will sign up. And then they will not use it, first of all. And second, ask them to pay for it. If they do not pay, it doesn't mean they don't like you. It just means that the problem is not important enough for them, that they will not pay for it. If your best friend is not paying, others will not pay either, unfortunately. Okay, the second one. I call it the marketplace mirage. So, you know, have you heard those pitches where people are like, you know, you have an app where people who are looking for construction workers, and then on the other end, people who are looking for construction work, and you have a platform where people can find each other, like, you know, Yandex, like Yandex Taxi, but for construction work, or this for that. So marketplaces are fantastic ideas. Like the market, if you can make a marketplace work, like think of like Airbnb, Uber, these are really, really good ideas. But I just want people to know that unlike other ideas where your friends can tell you that's stupid, that doesn't make sense, marketplace ideas, they always sound good on paper because it makes sense. Like if someone wants something and someone needs something, you connect them. That's the app, right? But getting marketplaces started is one of the hardest things ever because you have this thing called the chicken and egg problem. It means that, like, imagine you building a marketplace where people who are looking to buy a home are going to meet people who are looking to sell a home. You have a simple app. I go there if I'm a buyer. I go there if I'm a seller. I don't go there as a buyer if you don't have sellers. And I don't go there as a seller if you don't have buyers. The chicken and egg problem. Like, no one will come first. So you have to really think to yourself, how do I solve the initial problem of how do I get this off the ground? Because it's very painful. And last one is something also I fell into. It's a B2C. You know, all of us here, maybe we just came out of school. We just finished university. All of the ideas that we have, they're related to B2C ideas. So they're related to ideas that are consumers that we would use, consumers would use. We're not thinking, because we're so young, we're not thinking in terms of like B2B businesses. See, like I think only the true warriors of entrepreneurs, they work on B2C businesses because it is such a tough business, and mostly because it's a really hype business. If you're not a hype person, or if you don't have a co-founder who's a hype person, it will be really tough for you, or very, very expensive. Unless you have a rich uncle, it will be really expensive to run this startup, to make this grow. Someone has to be posting. I mean, for today's age, you or your co-founder have to be posting on Twitter, on Instagram, on TikTok every single day, multiple times a day, if you have a B2C startup. If you cannot imagine yourself doing that, don't do it. Then it's not worth it. Like you have to have one person who's very comfortable doing this every single day. So consumer, it's so, the problem with B2C is that it's so easy to get started. You started, maybe you post a couple of posts and then one goes like a little hype, and then you have like 50 users now. You're like, oh, that's fantastic. But how do we keep it going? Like, how do you actually keep it going? And at some point, like, I'll give an example. Like, I know a company who had like a very simple app, like a flashcards app. They were, you know, they would let people upload their file that would make flashcards for them to study. They grew to $1 million in revenue. $1 million in revenue. After that, when I saw him at a podcast, he basically said like it kind of like died off because in B2C, you have you lose about 10 to 15% of your entire paying customers every month. Like it's very normal. Like if you do under 10%, you're a genius. Like 10% is very normal. The question is, can you bring 15% more people every month into your product? And early on, it's very, very easy. Early on, it's like 50 people. Oh, sure, I can do 50 people. But when you have 100,000 people, you have to bring in 15,000 new people every month now. And that becomes very painful. And at that point, it's just a money game. So you spend $100,000 in ads and you get it back, hopefully $110,000 in revenue. And you do again, and you do again, you do again, hopefully with no mistakes. And when you run out of money, then you go to VCs to ask for more money so that you can fund the next round. So again, fantastic ideas come out of B2C. There's no problem with them. Just like be careful if you're starting one from scratch. Like ask yourself if you can be the hype person or not. All right. So we talked about what you should build, and that's all the 7 moats, like build some of them into your company. What you shouldn't build, that's the 3 traps. Now we can talk about how. So what's happening with Claude Code? I mean, number one is that prototyping, like if I have an idea, like I have a co-founder who's not technical. And in the past, he used to send me Figmas. Like he used to make the design on Figma. He would send me a Figma link. I would look at it and say, okay, can you change that and this? And he would take like 3 hours to change that. It was very slow. Now I tell him like, okay, can you like get me a working prototype that I can test on Claude? Then we can go through this process. So it makes process much faster. If you have like 2-3 founders, that's fantastic. You can do so much now. Like I can push code, I can do marketing, I can do this. So a lot of optionality there. We talked about this a little bit, like like what I want and the version of your product that works is very small. Like it's just a couple of prompts away. If you're really good at just one prompt away. And last one is a technical debt. Also becomes less of a problem. Like in big teams like Salesforce is a $150 billion company. And I think they probably spend more time on fixing bugs than shipping new features because they have such a big code base that the bugs come up more often. And I think as the Claude writes more of the code, you can have more of the automations that can reduce that technical debt as well. Okay, now the practical part. Before we jump into the part that actually is related to Claude Code, you guys have any questions? All right, we're going to go on with Claude Code. All right, who here is using Claude Code on pretty much on a daily basis? Or Codex is fine too. So, okay, we have like almost 50% of the people. Okay, so the first thing that we really had to change within the company ourselves is how we think about tasks. Yes, yeah, okay. How we think about tasks. Usually, we have a list of tasks for every engineer to go through, like in a sprint, right? You go through. Your engineer picks up 5 tasks. Assumption is that you'll finish this one, and then the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one. With Claude Code, that changes completely, and it takes a while for people to understand. You can actually run like multiple sessions in Claude, so you can have a very good specification of a problem, start it off, start a new one, start it off, and start a third one. So I personally right now can handle 3 at a time. I know some people can do 5, and that's crazy. But I think you definitely can do more than 1, because while your first one is running, you're just waiting, right? So you can run 3 to 4 tasks at the same time, and this is you're gonna have a lot of like tired mental state in the first week probably, but it's gonna be worth it. Like try and also make sure that your engineers know this as well. Like if you have people working with you, like tell them that they should do the same thing. And it's going to be weird first, but it's worth the payoff at the end. Okay, so voice mode, I hate typing. And I think that's one of the problems when it comes to like multitasking. If I have to type everything, I will like censor myself. I will like not say a bunch of things because I'm just lazy to type it out. I don't want to type it out. But if I speak, I can just talk for 15 minutes talking about, actually, this client needs this, and this is the feature that we want, and these are the problems I expect to happen. Like I can talk for like 10 minutes if I want to. It'll be a really, really long prompt, but at least it has the entire context. And you really cannot do that by just typing. You can try. Of course, I mean, some things have to be typed, but I'm a big believer in voice mode. I use something called Whisper Flow. It's like on top. It's a pretty good tool. I think they have a free mode as well that you can try. It works on Mac. I don't know if it works on Windows, but please do let me know. But I mean, I think Claude itself has a voice mode now, so you can also just use it's like /voice, and you just start speaking to it. All right. The reason I'm having this talk in English is because I think English is the new programming language. I mean, I think this has been said like in 2024. I think Andrei Karpathy said this in a tweet, and it was really popular. It says, English is the hottest new programming language. And it is true more than ever today, because if you can describe the thing you want into these agentic AIs, it will get your job done faster. And you being able to describe it clearly is your advantage. It's going to be the difference between, is this going to get done in like 2 hours or like 6 hours? You should be able to very clearly describe, and this takes training. This takes time. And then you should be able to just like spend time and do this more of this. If you speak Russian, I think this may be less of a problem. Like you should be able to get away with this. But again, most of the code bases are written in English. Most of their training on this comes from English as well. So if you want to be super precise, English is your best tool. I don't think they're going to get to that in Uzbek in a long time. So probably still the right way. So if you want to program, in the past, you just read your Stack Overflow. Like, I mean, 5 years ago, you would just go to Google, you will look up the problem you're having, you would find a Stack Overflow page, you would read it, and then you would add it to your code and you would run it. I mean, a little English needed, but not too much. But right now, you're actually conversing with a really, really good and sophisticated engineer that you have to be able to describe your thoughts and your project requirements and what your client needs and what their problems are. So please, also take this into consideration. Last one is output-driven development. And for someone who uses Claude, maybe this is more natural, but I want to mention this because if you're doing this, you're amazing. Every time you give a task to Claude, try to describe what the output is going to be like. Like, I want a feature that does X, Y, Z. And then also, like when is this going to be ready? Like, I want to know. And when I say this, I mean, tell me the passing conditions. I'll give an example. If I'm building a feature that makes the onboarding easier for a user, I'm going to tell it, okay, I want you to be able to run this entire flow. You're going to make a new onboarding screen. I want you to open the page, go through the page, go through it like a customer. I want you to count how many clicks you've done. And then it has to be way less than what we do right now. And then don't come back to me with a solution until you have satisfied these conditions. Claude Code dagi bitta asosiy muammo qanaqaki? Claude Code qolgan AI larga o'xshab, it's predictive. Ya'ni u bizni nima deydi, maqsadimizni predict qilyapti. Qanchalik to'g'ri va qanchalik precise tushuntirib bersak bizni maqsadimizni, unga yetish osonroq bo'ladi. Masalan, eng ko'p uchraydigan muammolardan bittasi shuki, Claude Code'da bizda har qanday bug bor deylik. Bug'ga beramiz. Hop, shu yerda users facing this bug. So Claude Code nima qiladi? Claude ga qaraydi-da, I think it's this issue. I think this is the reason why. And unga fix yaratadi. And then it's going to make a PR. It's going to create a PR, and you review the PR. So siz o'zi PR ga qaraysizda, test qilasizda, yana o'sha bug turibdi bir xilda. Why? Because it doesn't know that like it has to know that the Claude needs to be able to recreate the error. Like the Claude should be able to run the error, create the error first, make the fix, and create the test that passes it. So like test it again, and now you know you have a real fix. And by default, it doesn't know that still. And maybe it will figure it out in like Opus 4.7, but as of now, it's not very clear. Hop, bu yerda oramizda team leadlar yoki injenerlar bo'lsa, I talked about multitasking. Bitta muammosi chiqdiki bizda boshda. Bizda we have a production environment. Ya'ni bizda customerlar ishlatadigan production environment bor. U hammasi the customer data. So we don't touch this. And we have a development environment. We have a dev environment where we test things. This is our internal environment, and usually there's a PR that opens from a dev to a prod. And that was fine for a long time. Like we push maybe 1 to 2 features a day, and then we can get through this. But when I'm working on 3 things, and my engineers are working on 3 things, another engineer is working on 3 things, by the end of the day, we have 9 changes, all on dev. And the problem is if one of them is not correct, that whole batch is not being shipped to production today. It stops the whole thing. So what the really good thing here, and maybe if someone already does this, that's fantastic. But for people who don't do this already, if you run on something like Versal, like Versal has something called preview environments. Every time you have a PR, it can create a preview environment which you can test. Like it has the environment variables. You can test this whole thing. For backend, we use something called Railway. If you see it on top, very nice usage-based software too. That's for backend. Also has preview environments. So the idea that every PR means if I have a bug that has, let's say, I change the color of a button, it will get its own PR. It will get its own link where me, one of my engineers, or any of our like a non-technical team can go, they test it, like they would go to it like a real user, they would test it and say, this looks good, and that would deploy to production. So it opens up the whole like flow of PRs into the production without having to clog it on the way down. Okay, any questions here before I move on to other parts? Sure. Huh? Right. Right. Yeah, very, very good question. Hop, bular holatlarda hozir Claude Code'da preview feature bor. Preview feature, yani it can like load the UI of the feature. Masalan, ba'zida shunaqangi katta featurelar borki, ham backend bor, ham frontend bor. Yani task juda ham katta. Buni integration testini masalan Claude yozib bersan ishonmayman baribir. Chunki feature ko'rish kerak baribir. It has to run through the feature. Bunda ikkita usul. Agar oddiy feature bo'lsa, prosta UI change bo'lsa, Claude Code the preview feature bor. Preview feature yaxshi. Unaqada katta feature bo'lsa, I tell it to create the PR. And once the PR is created, now it has a link. So it has a backend link and it has a frontend link. So I'm going to ask it to go and like actually test it. So it's gonna run through the flow. Like it's a little slow still because it does like a screenshot and wait 5 seconds, screenshot, a little slow. But if I'm working on 5 things, it's okay. I can let it run and it's gonna go through it and it's gonna, and the best thing about it is that it has access to console logs. So console loglarni ko'rib, o'zini xatosini ko'rib, bu yerda bunaqa qilishim kerak ekan deb turib, keyin borib change qiladida, yana keyin update bo'ladi PR, keyin qismini davom ettirib, keyin when it's finished like all the way through, then it's going to come back and write the integration test after. Yeah. So it makes sense only for like big features if you like want to test this through, but it saves me so much time because I have to go and like go through like some features take setup, like you have to do setup, like for example, if I'm testing a mock exam feature, I have to build a mock exam to test the specific edge case that I don't want to do. Just like, hey, go do this. And that's probably what's going to make it faster. Yeah. Hop, men o'zim 3 ta ishlayman xolos, 3 tada. Agar 5 ta o'tsa, men ham miya aynib qoladi. So 3 ta yaxshi. Agar like like a joke bor. I work with like 3 screens at the same time in the morning and like 2 screens in the afternoon, only 1 screen in the evening because my brain can't take 3 screens at night. So yeah, like a task showing a ball. I got a charging was I work with 1 task. I just want to get this done. If I'm like okay, I can do 2, otherwise 3. But I was a Claude Code yangi feature chiqqan, enable allow mode degan. Ya'ni bitta muammo Claude Code shunaqa ediki, har 2 minutda kelib turib bunaqa qilaymi deb so'raydi. Keyin yes qilishingiz kerak. Jump. So they launched a feature where like it only asks you questions that are related to the project, like if it has project questions. So I turned this on, so it's a little faster. Yeah. Huh? Uh-huh. Yes. All right. Okay. Hop, to'g'risi muammo ko'p uchramadi. Sababi I don't know which plan you're on, but which plan are you on? Okay. Okay. Oh, Opus. Okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. So when I say new conversation, I mean like a new conversation, not in the same. A chat. Oh, okay. Okay. I think the problem there is that my guess, I don't know exactly, but your problem could be Claude MD. So if you don't have Claude MD file, it means it has to read your project in like by a lot. It has to read a lot of things. So like I think there's a command called /init. I think if you do init, it's going to create like a basic Claude MD. Like make sure you have one, and like we commit to our Claude MD pretty often. I also found this very cool feature. I think you can do /insights, and it tells you like about your usage of Claude, of how you're using it, and then like what are the problems that happen over time. So it gives you some suggestions on how to improve your own Claude MD. But I think Claude MD is the biggest driver because it's gonna tell the AI what part of your project to look at. Yeah, but Opus has 1 million token contacts now. Like hopefully that should get like hopefully eradicated like soon. Okay. Yeah. I mean they will all go up. Like everyone is going up, so like it's okay. Any more questions? Yes. Yeah, prompt engineering. I mean, odamlar kulardi. Prompt engineering is a job dev. Oldin, again, hozir rostdan prompt engineering is a good job. I think I saw OpenAI is paying like $500,000 for a really good prompt engineer. So I mean, first, I think it comes down to English. Like first, like, make sure, you keep improving your English. It's going to help with writing better prompts. But generally, like, be very precise with like the problem. Like, especially for Claude Code, this may not apply generally, but for Claude Code, be specific. And I'm not saying this myself. The creator of Claude Code, Boris, he actually said this in the interview the other day, where he said, like, if you're working with Claude Code, always start with plain mode. So always start, like, don't ask it to write code. Start with plain mode and tell it the problem. Like, don't box it into a solution. Like, if you think, oh, I think we should solve it this way, like, don't tell it that. Like, tell it the problem, have it come up with a plan. And if you disagree, then you can talk to it. So, like, keep the solution space open so it has access. It has to think about what are the possibles. Maybe its idea is going to be better than yours, because it's a really, like, a people pleaser. It's going to go the direction you tell it to. Like, if you tell it, hey, we should do it this way, it's going to say, okay, we're going to go this direction now. It may be not the best way. So be precise and then use the plan mode. And don't specify like how it should do it. Specify the problem that you're trying to solve. Yes? I'm sorry? Am I the ambassador of, I wish. They should really pay me for this, honestly. Yeah. Yeah. Look, I mean, I don't hate, first of all, I don't hate Codex. I actually use Codex. It's a really, really good product. Yeah. No. I'm asking I'm asking the first part of the question. I'm not an ambassador for Anthropic. I do love Codex. I think Google also should come up with a really good one. And I don't mind switching, actually. Like, if they're switching, so that's totally fine. So there was a leak of Claude Code, the Anthropic code base. And I think so I don't believe in hosting myself, because so we do this all the time. Like, when I talk to investors, they ask us, like, why doesn't your customers build the app like themselves? Then they would save so much money. And I tell them, like, look, if our customer is building their own app, they have way too much free time on their hand. It means their business is not doing that well. Like, if you're not busy enough to be working on your customers' problems, and you're trying to, like, optimize, like, cost in, like, certain parts, like, I think it's the wrong mindset. Like, I think I may save like $100 or $200, but, like, how much time did I spend, like, trying to figure out how to, like, reverse engineer Claude's code, and then the next patch I have to do the same thing again, like, next time they update something. So I think they can probably increase the Claude Code cost to, or even Codex. Like, they can increase it probably to like $1,000 right now. It might be still worth paying, just because of, like, how much productivity we get from this. And my wife is a software engineer too, and their company uses, like, an open source model, and it is so bad. I don't know why they still do that, but they're very sensitive about their data, so they host their own models, and, like, it takes her, like, probably 10 times more time to do one task than I would take, because just the models are just so bad. And I think it's a mistake for the company. Actually, on the topic of cost, I don't know if you guys seen the comment that the NVIDIA CEO made, where he said, like, if my engineer is not spending at least like $300,000 in, like, Claude tokens, then, like, I want them fired, because, why aren't you using the best tools? I have a friend in Meta who told me that they are not allowed to write code anymore. Like, maybe a bit of an exaggeration, but every time they have to write code, like, actually touch the code base, they have to get approval from the manager, or they have to notify the manager and explain why they're doing that. Otherwise, they're pretty much all Copilot. So they're doing most of the reviews. So, like, from that perspective, I think, like for big companies, it doesn't matter how much it costs in tokens. All right. So the main question: what should you do? Like, what should you do if you're trying to do a startup? I think you should just start with this one. pick an idea and then check the whole phantom audience thing. Like, do I know anyone who would actually do this? Like, write down their name, ideally. If you can find 10, that'll be like amazing. You should start it right now if you can find 10 people. But try to talk to them, see what they say, and then see if it's worth building. So like, don't waste your time building things that no one actually wants. Like, it'll be just the biggest waste of your time. And that's like the biggest risk with Claude. If you do find an idea, just build a version. And then like right now, like these days, the standard is a working product. Like in the past, you could get it with an MVP. You could say, oh, this is an MVP. It has a few bugs. Like today, the standard is like, this is a real, it has to work. It has to deliver value. You have to charge money. It doesn't have to be day one, but like you make sure that people understand that they will be billed for this. Like they will pay for this when time comes. Don't market it as a free product and then say, oh, actually, we're going to charge now. So if you already have a company, like ask yourself, like, am I building in any of these directions? Am I building like a network effect? Maybe am I building like a process, like a process mode? Maybe. If you're not sure if you should do B2B or B2C, just stick to B2B. It is the businesses have daily problems. People don't have daily consistent problems. So businesses do things every day. They go to work, they do certain things. It's much easier to find, and they are also more willing to spend money because it's for their business. B2C is much tougher. Like if you're not sure, stick to B2B. If you're sure, good luck with B2C. That is, that's gonna be, again, if you can do it, like it's like if you do B2C and you come back to B2B, like you're gonna feel like a superpowered person. Like you're like, okay, this is so easy now. You can just do B2B. That is all right. Overall, build less with Claude Code. Ship more if you have a product. Get more features out there. Think harder again, like what exactly you're building, who you're building it for. Now the question becomes like, not can you build it? The answer is always yes, but the question, should you build it even? If you have Q&A, we can open it now. This is if you want to connect with me. I'm on LinkedIn mostly. But from the beginning again, if you do come across our website, please do not sign up. That is probably not the wrong audience, and it will ask you to pay at the end. So I don't want to take your money. Uh-oh. All right, just look up my name. Yes.
Can you tell me your workflow? For example, you have an idea, right? And you want to build this ambiguous product. And how you approach, how you use your Claude Code.
Yeah.
Can you tell me that, like?
Sure. Yeah. Like I have a lot of ideas. So like if I wasn't working on study spaces, I think I think it usually is like right now the best co-founder is also Claude. Like you can tell Claude and he can actually to like break it is a good one. But then like, okay, I decided, let's say, this is a good idea. Maybe I want to build a robot that makes pancakes, right? Let's say like I really don't like making pancakes. I don't like making pancakes myself. I want to eat pancakes every day. Okay, is it a good startup or not? First of all, the question is like, do I know anyone who's gonna like who first of all wants to eat pancakes as well, who would buy this? Okay, I have a friend who likes eating pancakes. I gotta talk to him, but is he gonna pay or not? I think usually like early on, this is really, really hard. I understand, because as we are young, like we're not in a lot of communities. Like we just finished college. Our friends are the community basically, and maybe you're part of a few professional ones. But I think it becomes easier over time. But you gotta tap into people you know, and let's look around as the people you know and says, okay, I know a lot of people who do like real estate. Okay, maybe I can build something in that area, and then try to talk to people and figure out what the problem they have. Like YC has a really good video on this. I think it's called distribution first and product second or something like that. But the whole idea is that you have to find out how you're going to sell it before you build any product, because you're just going to waste your time by building it if you don't know how to sell it, or if you don't know the people you're going to sell it to. So I think one of the best like moats we have as study spaces is like, I know so many tutors now, like so many business owners in the US that do educational businesses. Like if a news drops in the industry, I'm gonna know it within the hour. So like, I think that it creates a real moat. Like when you know people around and you talk to them and you're like nice to them and then they're nice to you. So like you have to get people, you have to network and get to know people. If you're in that stage of like, I'm looking for an idea stage, if that makes sense. And don't be afraid to like join one too. Like if you, like you don't have to be always like the one comes up with an idea. Like, you know, like, I mean, Study Spaces was like not our idea. Like it was like one of the clients who really, really wanted this version of the startup. And I was like, okay, maybe that makes sense. Maybe like, you know, and then we ended up building one for one of the clients. So it ended up like, it doesn't have to be like your original idea. You can find a co-founder who has one, or, you know.
My question was a little bit different.
Okay, please.
You are as a software engineer, right?
Okay.
You are creating one real app,
Yeah.
for example, and you're starting from zero.
Yeah.
And of course, you're going to use like Claude Code. Right?
Yeah.
But in order to give the prompt, will you like have yourself like?
I'll speak to it normally, but yeah.
Do things?
Yeah.
And after that, like, will you give the another prompt, for example, how to do code, or you'll just like give the features, and then see?
Yeah, so if I have the feature list now, yes, I'll just give the features so that I can get the first version that I can like click on, that I can like look at. And then if I have something that I can show to a client that I talked to earlier, then I'll send them a link and says, okay, what do you think of this? And they're like, actually, or they don't use. And I come back with a why they don't use. That creates my second set of features that I have to give it. And it becomes a new PR and it goes on. Yeah. Yes. Devam on.
Hozir bilamizki, har oy payda yangi model yoki modellar update bo'lyapti. Kompyuter bozorda katta bo'lyapti.
To'g'ri.
Masalan, shunga qarab qanday yo'l tutishimiz kerak? Ya'ni AIlarni ishlatishda biz qanaqadir token ekonomikani o'ylashimiz kerakmi yoki kontekstni qanday ishlatishni o'rganishimiz kerakmi? Yo'q, narsalar masalan brenddan keyin masalan AIlar juda zo'r boshlansa hech qanday ma'nosi bo'lmay qoladi. Ya'ni bizga milliarddan token beradi ishlatishga. Shu narsalar bo'yicha qanaqa predictionimiz bor? Nimaga e'tibor bergan yaxshi AIga development bo'yicha ketgan paytda?
Juda ham yaxshi savol. Internal use, ya'ni team ichida qaysi model ishlashimiz kerak. Mani fikrim u tomondan har doim eng yaxshisi, the best, because it's always gonna like pay off. Like o'zi narxini chiqaradi, har doim chiqaradi. Internal team uchun. Va internal team hozir katta emas, ko'pchilikda 5, 6, 10 kishi, balki 20 kishidir. Unda the best model there is. Masalan, bizda ham hozir kompaniyada AI featurelar bor, customer facing. Ular bizni klientlarni ishlatishadi. Bu yerda AI tokenomika yaxshi, o'ylash kerak u to'g'risida, rostdan. Lekin masalan, Monika boshlaganimizda 2023-yilda boshlagandik. U paytda bizda oyiga $5 turardi-da. 4000 token limit bordi bir oyga. O'shanda ham o'sha 4000 token o'shanda $4.5 turardi jami. Endi ko'pchilik ishlatmagan uchun biz foyda qolardi bizda. Masalan, bizlarga token usage billimiz bundoq bo'lib turib, bundoq oxiriga tushib ketdi, oxirida nolaga tushib ketdi. Ishdan endi juda ham katta use case'lar bo'lsa, o'ylash muhim bo'lishi mumkin, lekin ko'pchilik uchun menimcha uncha muhim emas. Chunki agar masalan usage based billing bo'lsa sizda, qanchalik ko'p ishlatsa ular, siz delik foyda 0 bo'lsa ham bu tomondan o'sha kompaniya lekin sizga moat yig'yapti. Ya'ni sizni ishlatib, sizni produktni yoqtirib, undan keyin agar narxlar tushadigan bo'lsa, menimcha narxlar baribir tushadi. You'll be profitable afterwards. That makes sense. Like I think like masalan Claude Code hozir model capability ham, price ham grafiga qaranganda. Masalan capability ham grafi u tomonga o'syapti, cost grafi bu tomonga o'syapti. haligi no bitta nuqtaga qarasangiz uni haligi bilish qiyin qayerga ketayotganini. Lekin grafiga qarasa bilish oson juda ham. Sekinlashishi mumkin qaysi joyda, lekin overall menimcha it's going to go down and the keyboard's going to go up.
Yana savol?